MovieWeb.com.
Cool. So for the first question I wanted to ask, I know the host was really about sons and daughters, working with their father, kind of father, son, and daughter relationship. This film is about mother and son relationship, so I wanted to find out, what was it about the relationships you had with your parents and your background that made you interested in making these types of films?
My personal background with my own parents is very normal. I grew up in a very normal kind of family, but just the motive for creating this film was I have a young son, 13, 14-year-old son, and watching his relationship with my wife, seeing the mother and son relationship, because there's something very powerful and instinctual about that. And that was where I got some of the inspiration. It's not like my son committed murder, but just seeing the relationship between a mother and a son, it's so much more powerful than just say compared to a father and a daughter.
Well, the mother in this film clearly will do anything to protect her son, to save her son. What is it about that you've found from just witnessing your son's relationship with his mother that you understand that mother instinct to, that sort of bear instinct to protect your cub?
Because a mother is carrying a child in the womb for 9 months, there's some kind of animalistic connection between a mother and a son, and that's something very raw. And at the same time, there's moments where even a human being can turn into almost like a beast when something bothers that relationship between a mother and a son. And just like how lions and tigers, they suddenly claw at somebody who tries to get at their young ones. There's something about that exists even in human beings. So I wanted to explore that, those kind of feelings.
And also, I found the film to be an interesting commentary on the police and the government and the way they handle mentally incapacitated people, diminished, low. So I was just interested in what sprung that interest in you to tell that side of the story. What kind of commentary were you trying to make about the way we treat, in society treat?
Well, if you look at most of the characters in this film, they're all people who are on the lower rung of society. They're people who can't get the help of the system and the society and the government. So even people like the police and the lawyers, they're not able to help these people. And so you see these kind of underdog kind of characters, and these are the characters that affect me most deeply. And I wanted to, tell stories about people in these kind of situations.
Well, it's an interesting tone of the film that you sort of have to balance. On one side, you have this family drama, very moving family drama. And on the other side, it's a little bit of a detective story, a noir mystery. So how did you find the right mood and tone to sort of balance that?
Just growing up, I watched a lot of genre movies, and I was very accustomed and familiar with different genre conventions just naturally. So when I write these stories, they kind of naturally go in the direction where, because I'm ultimately telling a movie where you're solving a crime, but at the same time, naturally, because of these characters and these situations, these stories, these different dramatic elements are going to come into it. And it's not something that I plan out where I say it's 50% crime drama, 25% comedy, 25% family drama. But it's just something that comes from going through the story and writing it.
The mother in the story, the actress that plays the role, such a powerful performance. In her mind, obviously, she is doing the right thing for her son, where we as audience may have a different opinion of her motivations. How did you work with her to get her to, in her acting, sort of justify that character's motivations for the audience, so she didn't become a villain, but someone that we can relate to?
If we look at it objectively, the kind of actions that she takes, even from an audience perspective, it provides a very kind of difficult moral dilemma as well. Basically, what he wanted to do for the audience was kind of put them in a very subjective perspective, to put them to see the situation through the main actress's eyes. I spoke earlier about the animalistic instinct that comes from being a mother, and I think that kind of comes naturally. That if a mother is put in certain situations, those instincts will come out, and that's something that I discussed with my actress as well.
That kind of instinct is beyond, far beyond human morality or ethic. 도덕적인 거지.
Yeah, like, yeah, to
Ethic
be,
dilemma.
yeah, it's not a
Yeah.
moral dilemma.